Can someone quickly just pray for us 1 minute? Volunteer to pray for us 1 minute kind of prayer. Or should I call names? I can see Winnie on the call. I can see Naomi on the call. I can see Rema on the call. I can see Abigail on the call.
Okay, let's pray. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, let's pray in Jesus' name. Father, we thank you for what you have done.
Hi, Rema. We can't hear you anymore.
Sorry, when did you come from?
I think network is a bit not stable tonight. So can someone else volunteer to just do us a quick prayer so that we can continue with what we have? Abigail, if you can hear me, can you pray for us, please? Thank you. Can anyone hear me, please?
So if it's 60 already, you check. So how can I make this one?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. So we lost Rema on the call. I think her network, right? So I was asking, can someone else pray for us so that we can go straight to what we have for today?
If it's 40 that can work here, then we make it 40 here as well.
Guys, don't be shy. We are just ladies here in the house. Even if you have guys join the call, don't be shy, right? The entire process is just so we can build confidence about a thing and become better versions of ourselves. So if you're able to go through the conversation today on the group, you will know that a whole number of us that are doing some things currently, it's not like we are perfected in it, or it's not like we've had a level of perfection. It's just like we trying to build perfection. So whenever anything is being called on, it's nothing too much. Just try, give it a try. I'm just asking, just pray. So you could just commit the meeting into the hand of God, and then we go straight to the point. So yes, somebody else should try. Abigail, can you? You can actually. Please just pray for us. If you are somewhere that you can talk.
2 years. When you finish from Nasarawa, when you get your professor, you come back. That is what he did. He now meets Coca. Coca give him that leave of absence for 2 years. After he go.
All right, so I think we'll not be holding on anymore. So let's just do a quick prayer. Father, we thank you for tonight. Thank you for the opportunity to gather as young ladies and young men and people who are willing to become better versions of ourselves. We ask that everything that we'll be doing, you take preeminent control and your name alone be glorified in Jesus' name. Amen. So if you hear the prayer loud and clear, your emoji should tell me right now that you hear the prayer, or you type on the chat box, amen. All right, Rema, sorry about your network. So sorry about your network. Thank you so much, everyone. It's so good to have us here again at the second edition of this very particular program and initiative, right? For those that were able to join the first edition, you already have an idea of a whole lot of things. But then again, just so you can get yourself a form of re-awareness again, right? I will just be doing a quick talk about who we are, what we do, what you should expect, and then we dive in straight to why we are here. But then again, before we go to why we are here, there was something I said in the first edition. I said that confidence, right? They say confidence is not about thinking you are better than anyone else. It is simply knowing who you are and being at peace with it without making others feel less of themselves. Meaning, if you are doing anything, you are at peace with it, and you are doing it without making anyone feel you are not making anyone feel uncomfortable. You are not making anyone feel like you are not downgrading anyone. That is you being confident. It doesn't completely mean that you've got everything, like you can get everything like completely, you have it all figured out. So that last week we did also mention something about confidence being you showing up even when you are nervous. It is choosing to speak kindly to yourself. It is walking into a room knowing you belong there, even if your voice shakes as little. Confidence isn't about having it all together. Yes, it is about believing you are enough. You are growing. It is about believing that you are learning. And it is about believing that you are shining your own light while you cheer other people on. All right. So let me just do a quick talk about TCW and who we are. The Confident Woman African is a non-profit organization, and we are basically dedicated to the holistic development of girls and women through educational support, skill training, and mentorship. Our mission is to raise well-rounded women equipped with confidence and capacity to fulfill their full potential. So in TCW, we believe that a woman can live a 360-degree life balance rather. We believe that you can be all in your career. We believe that you can be all in your relationship. We believe that you can be all in anything at all that you choose to do. So I will keep making a reference to one of the things that I said at the physical edition of the conference, that we are not in the era where women have to wait for a man to completely do everything for her. We've gone past those era. And then we must realize it on time. We must start building ourselves that way. It's only what you have that you can incubate in the children that you will give birth to, or that you already have. So that means if you are looking forward to having children who are wholesome, who live a life of wholeness, that means that it must start from you. You must start living a life of wholeness. And in this initiative, that is one thing that we believe in. All right. That's one thing that we believe in. We believe in the holistic, balanced life of a woman. Just so I will not waste our time anymore, I will just quickly talk about our mission. So our mission, we have means of communicating these values to people through structured mentorship like we are doing currently, guiding women and girls to maximize the 6 key areas of their life, instances like identity, their character, their health, their career, their relationship, and their financial independence. Yes, very important. And at the same time, we do stuff as regards to educational support and skill training. So we provide scholarship opportunity whenever they comes. You are very privileged to be part of this initiative. Whenever we have such opportunities, we are very quick and very fast to share it with our girls. We organize tailored training programs that equip women and girls with practical skills for career growth and financial independence. And at the same time, we have community and policy engagement, like engaging families, community leaders, policymakers, to transform limiting cultural perception and advance supportive policies that allow women and girls to thrive. We want to be sure that anywhere and everywhere you find yourself, you are thriving. You are thriving. You are being the best of yourself. We don't want you to get to a space where they say it's only men that is here and then it's just men that is there. We want you to get to the space, do your thing, be yourself, do the things that you can be the best version of yourself. That is what the initiative is all about. All right. This is not an initiative built to start talking down on men or talking down on a particular gender or dragging some things with some gender like that. No, this is an initiative created so that we can have a life balance, a holistic life balance. Without further ado, let me quickly introduce our mentor for tonight. Amazingly, she's the convener of this great initiative, right? She's the visionary behind this initiative. Her name is Miss Patient Ukange. She's a multi-talented young lady with words of experience in talent acquisition. She has experience in business and leadership management. And she's a founder of this very initiative, like I did mention earlier, the founder of the Confident Woman African Initiative, a non-profit 360-degree transformational organization that guides African girls and women through the journey of self-discovery, self-development, and self-maximization. As an African leader with a global mindset, she has traveled across different countries of the world, exploring the many opportunities available for youth development and women empowerment. Trust me, this young lady is so passionate about seeing girls being the best version of themselves. She's so passionate about seeing girls doing things the right way. She's so passionate about ensuring that everything is just so balanced and so okay. And we are privileged to have her in the house this evening. So if you are excited and you are happy for what is going to happen or about to happen, can you show by either typing on the chat box that you are super excited, or you just show by your favorite emoji? Let me do mine right now to show you how excited I am. I want to see the favorite emojis coming in. Hi, thank you, Rema. You're excited about this meeting. Guys, let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. I can see Winnie. You're excited about this meeting. I am so super excited. Hi, Ma'am Patience. Good evening, Ma. Please confirm that you can hear me loud and clear.
Hello, Gracie. Can you hear me?
Very, very well. Good evening, Ma.
Good evening. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much too. We are so happy and we are super excited and anticipating a whole lot of interesting things today. Yeah, so we are happy to have you and we are privileged to be part of this initiative. You're welcome, Ma.
Thank you so much, Gracie. So I'm trying to see who and who we have on the call. So Abigail, you're welcome. I see Joy. I see Juicy. I hope this Juicy is Juicy I'm thinking of. I see Kehinde. I see Komolafe Emmanuel. You're all welcome. I see Lois. I see Miss Soma. I see Naomi. I see Precious. I see Rema. And I see Winnie. You all are welcome. I'm excited to be doing this with you tonight. And I want you to just get ready. I was on the call from the very beginning, and then I noticed some persons were, I don't know if I should call it being shy, but you don't have to be shy, right? So I'd like you to know that this conversation is about confidence. And just like Grace earlier mentioned, when we talk about being confident, we are not saying those people who are out there saying, voicing out. In fact, those of us coordinating these sessions, we are not saying we have our confidence at 100%. We are saying that in any case, even if there are still aspects of us that we think are not so bold and confident enough, we will still show up. We will still do this, you know. And so I like you to have that perspective. I like you to have that mindset. I like you to have an open heart, even as we engage in today's conversation. And I like to, I also want to believe that this is not the first time you're hearing this conversation. You must have heard it so many times. And in fact, in our last session, right, with our mentor, Desiree, I remember she said so many amazing things about confidence and identity. So I'm just here to just allow us to express ourselves. So I'm just going to dive in real quick. I'll be sharing my screen right away. So you just quickly let me know once you can see my screen. So once you can see my screen, just let me know. And
Sorry, ma'am, are you trying to share your screen? Okay, yes, it's popping up already.
okay, beautiful. So I'm going to be presenting right away. So you let me know once you can see everything clear.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Oh,
Yes,
beautiful.
we can see your screen.
All right. So the conversation we'll be having today is self-identity and confidence building. And this is the second session of it. My name is Patience Ukange. I want to believe I want to believe you know me, you know what my name is, right? So my name is Patience Ukange. I love quotes a lot. And I got to love to fall in love with so many quotes because of one of my mentors. If you don't know her, check her out. DDK, Coach DDK. That woman is amazing. So I have some quotes here, a good number of them as we proceed. Mentorship is the bridge between potential and purpose. A good mentor helps you to find your voice, and a great mentor reminds you that you already have one. So I like every one of you on this call to know that you have a voice. And most times when we say you have a voice, people think everybody has to be on social media, everybody has to be saying something, everybody has to be doing a video, saying something. The way our world has become so noisy now, everybody's building something, everybody's doing something. That's not the kind of voice we're referring to. So some people's voice is not to go out there and start something afresh. Some people's voices are to work in that office, yet deliver excellently, right? Especially as young ladies, where there is this stereotype about young women not doing certain things, not building in careers, certain careers excellently. So your voice could just be being in that career path. Let's say in the tech space, AI space as an example, getting into that space and serving so well, being so excellent, being so good, right? At running those codes that everyone knows that you are good, and that becomes your voice. So most times when we say voice, some people are just shying away. You don't have to come over the camera and say things, go on social media, post videos, talk. Not everyone has been called to do all those things. So when we talk about lending your voice, having your voice, you don't necessarily have to do that. You don't have to even see it in that light. Okay. So here's some other quotes I love us to take note of. Owning your story and loving yourself through the process is the bravest thing you will ever do. Owning your story and loving yourself through the process is the bravest thing you can ever do. So, there is this thing about every one of us. If I allow us the opportunity to share our different stories and backgrounds and the places we come from, the different experiences we had while growing up, I believe most of us have ugly experiences, or some of us would have some ugly experiences, right? That you might likely not want to share. And at this point in your life, you might feel like, you might even feel ashamed to let people know that this is what you went through, But then the most bravest thing to do is to embrace that story, is to accept that this is what happened to you. Yes, it must have affected some aspect of your life, but that is not who you are. Don't allow it to define you. As we continue, I'll give us some more practical examples. So let's have this other quote here that says, you've survived so much to still doubt your strength at this point in your life. So this quote reminds me of something. Science tells us that in the course of sexual intercourse, that millions of sperm cells are released, right? And when it's just one of that sperm cells that is able to fertilize an egg. So that means in the course of intercourse between your father and your mother, so many other people would have been given birth to, so many other babies would have been made, but it was you, it's just you that decided to be that sperm that fertilized that particular egg. So you survived those millions. Imagine millions. In my head, most times when they say that, I try to picture it in my head like millions, and then just one eventually fertilizes the egg, and that one becomes you. That one now is you. See, from that time of your life up until now, I don't want to think we have anybody on this call that is less than 15 years old. Now, even if you're on this call and maybe you're just about 15 years old, it's a long time to live for 15 years in Nigeria. Looking at everything that's happened, you survived till this point. You are a fighter. You've got the strength to become that person you are called to become, right? So at this point in your life, tell yourself that whatever fears, whatever things, whatever challenges you face, you are strong because you've overcome so many that has brought you to this point. So you are good to go. You are ready to explore every other thing that comes your way. Here's another quote. You can't build confidence from comfort. It grows where you dare to fail. So when you face failures, dare to try again. Now, what this means is this particular quote tells us that people who do the things you do, so let's say you've got people in your life, or maybe I'll say senior friends, mentors, or let's even say celebrities, right? That you admire so much and you're like, I wish I could speak like this person. I wish I had the courage like this person. I wish I was bold as this person. You're thinking all of those things. If you go to those people and speak to them, they will tell you that they are doing this thing not because there is no fear at all, but because they know they have to do it, because they need to do it. So they step out of their comfort zone to do it anyways. So whether they are afraid, whether they are scared, most times we don't get to dare certain things because we feel like, what if I fail? The uncertainties, the fear of what will people say, the fear of failure and all of that is what holds us back. But everyone doing something today that you admire, if they want to tell you the truth, they will tell you that when they started, they were afraid. I personally, in fact, I'm still afraid up until today. Right now, speaking to you, there are things I'm still so much afraid of, but I just have to do it anyways because this is the life I need to live, right? This is the life I've been called to live. So I have to do it. You will no longer be recognized by many when you finally recognize yourself. So this statement, you might be wondering, what exactly does this mean? The who you are today, right, is not the who you were called to be. And if you allow yourself to become that person that you were called to be, you allow yourself to begin to evolve into that person, you realize that so many people would see you in the next 1, 2, 3 years and not recognize you. Be like, is this really Patience? I knew her from when she was a baby, She grew up in the trenches here in Nasarawa State. And is that her I'm seeing, So most people will no longer recognize you once you decide to embrace the person that you ought to be, the real you that you should be, and you begin to grow into that person. So as we proceed, I'd like us to just know that these are some of the points we are going to be talking about today. So we'll just give a highlight of understanding self-identity. We'll talk about the journey of self-awareness. We'll talk about confidence, the place of confidence and identity. We talk about overcoming internal barriers, We talk about the power of self-awareness. We talk about building daily confidence habits, and then leading from the place of identity and with confidence. So let's dive in. At this point, I will need Grace to help me because I'm not sure if I can see anyone's hand from here. So I want someone to answer this question. Can someone you can decide to speak or you can decide to drop it in the chat. I would have preferred that you speak. Can you tell us who you are in 3 words? Who wants to do that? Gracie, can you hear me? Are you on the call? Help us take note of those who want to speak. Hello, if you can hear me, let me know you can hear me. Can somebody unmute and let me know you can hear me?
Can hear you, Mom. I can hear you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for your feedbacks. So who is coordinating? I think Grace is no longer on the call, right? Is Joy on the call?
Yes, I am, ma'am.
Okay, so just help us coordinate this. Let's get the feedbacks in the chat. And then for those who would want to boldly share it
All right,
out.
ma'am.
Yes, so let's have them speak. So I think I want to begin to call names. Remember, I told us when we started that this is going to be a conversation that's going to be engaging. I'm not going to be talking on this call alone because we are talking about confidence. I'm not here to tell you that this is what to do to become confident. I'm here to share with you the different things I personally do, right? So if you look at me and you feel like, oh, Patience is confident, Patience is a confident woman, Patience is bold, right? If you've seen me in that light by anything I do, today I'm here to just share with you how I do it, and I want us to do it together. So let me hear you in the chat. Let me hear your voices. Do you want me to begin to call names? I wouldn't want to call names, so let's go ahead and do this. Any responses yet? So your responses will actually allow me continue.
Okay, we have one from Naomi.
Okay, can you read it out?
She says that she's loved, she's growing, and she's evolving.
Oh, beautiful. I love that. She's loved, she's growing, and she's evolving. Oh my God. That's going to be another subject of discourse. I love that. Naomi, thank you for sharing that. So who's going next? Who's sharing? Who's sharing? Who's sharing? Or do you want me to go?
Okay, Rema says,
I'm listening, I'm listening, I'm listening.
okay, Rema says she's learning, she's growing.
Oh, beautiful. So everyone is learning and growing. I love that. Learning never ends, right? I am personally learning every day. I am evolving every day. So I love the words that we are using to describe ourselves. Beautiful. Let's keep it coming. I need one more feedback.
Okay, Kehinde says that she's beautiful, she's intelligent, and she's a listener.
Oh, wow. I love that. Kehinde, I think I should start with your point. So there is this thing about, I think it's a thing. I don't want to use confidence right now. Okay, so there is this assurance you have, and there is this glow you carry when you know that you are beautiful. Like when you know, right? You've told yourself and you know, you've seen yourself in the mirror and you know that you are beautiful. Especially when probably you put on a dress that makes you look really adorable. Or maybe you worn a particular kind of hair look or makeover, and then you are just so sure that, oh, I'm so beautiful, I look very pretty today. There is this confidence, there is this boldness it gives you to want to probably just smile at people or go to places, walk into the room with so much courage and charisma, you know. So when you are sure of your confidence, when you are sure of something about you, it builds your confidence. When you are sure of those beautiful, amazing things about yourself, it builds your self-confidence. So for me, some of the things I tell myself that I am beautiful, I am amazing, I am loved, you know, and just telling myself these things gives me the confidence to walk into any room. It doesn't matter who is there. I walk in there with courage. I walk in there with confidence, and I'm like, I'm beautiful, I'm intelligent, you know. And so I tell myself that if a conversation is initiated, I have something to share. I'm intelligent, I'm valuable, because I know everything. But these are the things I've told myself. And because I told myself, it allows me to express it in my actions. So let me give us this example, this scenario. Has there been a time where you dressed, right? You dressed up and you did not really like the dress you wore. Probably when you sent it to a tailor to make it, the fashion designer did not get the design you wanted, but maybe it was for a wedding or for an occasion, so you just have to wear it anyways. And then by the time you got into the occasion, you began to receive some compliments. Oh, your dress is good. And you're like, really? At those points, at those times, there's a way that your confidence is affected. You feel like probably maybe that person is not making a mockery of me. The person saying this dress is beautiful because I know this was not the dress. This is not even it at all. And I don't like this outfit. You just had to wear it. Personally, I've experienced those situations, which is one of the reasons why I hardly make dresses. I prefer to just go to the market and buy them and know that this suits me than just give it hello, because most of the times you get disappointed, right? So there was this time I wore this dress. I gave it to, I had given this outfit out for a tailor to make, and she didn't get it. And so when I wore what she presented to me, I wasn't happy with it. I just had to wear it. It was for my auntie's wedding, so I just had to wear it. And I was not comfortable. I was not comfortable. And at that point, it affected my confidence in a way. Now, why am I saying this? Confidence is beyond what you physically look right? But then what you look like and how you feel about what you look like matters. Because on that day, on the day of that wedding, there were so many places there were so many things I was not so free doing. Even the pictures, I think I just took only the general pictures. You didn't even see, you will not see me in any other picture in that wedding that looking excited, taking pictures and all. So why I'm saying this is because as much as we want to build our self-confidence from within, I want us to also know that your physical appearance also contributes to how you feel about yourself. So that means you have to deliberately work on the things you like, the looks, how you want to look, the kind of outfit you want to wear, how you want to be perceived. It starts also with what you look like. So also pay attention to what you look like and wear things that you're comfortable with. Don't wear things just because you want to look in a certain way, you want to please somebody. Personally, I'm this person that I wear clothes to look good. If I wear a clothes and I'm not comfortable with it, there is nothing anybody will tell me that even if you tell me it's beautiful, I will not take it in. As long as for me, this clothes did not meet what I want. You know, there are sometimes you just have to wear clothes like that, right? So what I'm saying is, make sure what you're putting on, right, how you look from the outward is what you are proud of, what you are excited about, because it really prepares how you would behave and how you would carry yourself. What is self-identity? What is self-identity? So when we talk about self-identity, we get people say different things. How you see yourself, what you think about yourself, how you perceive yourself, you know, basically who you are, and all of the definitions. The truth is, all of those definitions are not wrong. All of those definitions are correct. But one other definition I want us to take is self-identity is the picture of you in God's eyes. The picture of you in God's eyes. You know, most times when we talk about self, we get to isolate the place of who God is and what he has done. So when we talk about self-confidence, self-identity, self-awareness, it's just like we're talking about self, and we are forgetting that we are not just self without him. In fact, we are self because of him, because he made us that way, because he has given us that opportunity. Right? So beyond every other thing you think about yourself, know that self-identity, it is also you seeing yourself in his eyes. That's why I love the definition Naomi gave us so much. Those 3 words she gave us earlier. She said, she's loved. When you know that you are loved, you are not void of love. You are not hungry for love. You see, as ladies, most of the times we find ourselves in rooms or in relationships where we are being abused. But because we feel we lack love in our lives, we allow ourselves to remain in those rooms, in those relationships, in those spaces. But if you know that you are loved, obviously, when you find yourself in a place that looks like this is not love, you would excuse yourself. Because you know, come on, I deserve more than this. Come on, I'm not this person. No, I shouldn't be here. I deserve better than this. So when you have some of these thoughts about you and you say them to yourself, it helps you. Another thing I want us to also take note of is who you are is very important to you, because it is who you are that will determine the things you will do and the places you will go. And in fact, if you are even going to amount to anything meaningful in life, and it's as important as you knowing what your name is. So like, I know that my name is Patience. That's how much I should know that, oh, I'm a person of value. Oh, I am loved. Oh, I'm beautiful. Oh, I'm intelligent. That's how I should know it. Because if I don't know it with so much belief and authority, the world will tell me that I am not good enough. I am not beautiful enough. In fact, I'm not loved. I don't have love because the world is wicked. So if you don't define who you are for you, and also let the world know that this is who you are, the world will help you define who, in fact, the world will give you a name. The world will define you for you. And it's so sad that we have many people living their lives by the definition the world has given to them, but not the definition that they have given themselves, or definition they truly should have gotten from the word of God. So we have cultures where we address women in a particular way, we treat women in a particular way, oh, because she's a woman. We have different experiences. You know, that's what I started the conversation with. When growing up, there are certain kind of experiences that shape our lives, shape who we become. And if we are not careful, that's how we begin to see life. So if you grow up in an environment where you experienced, maybe from a family where every now and then there was fight at home, it's either the younger one was fighting the elder one, the mother was fighting the father was fighting the mother, the father was fighting the son, you know, crisis everywhere. That's how you will see life. And even when you grow into an adult and leave that house, there are traces of that trauma that will remain in you. And if you don't allow yourself see life in a different way, that is how you live your life. You think fighting each other or fighting anybody you come across is a normal thing. Come on, it's a way of life. That's how we lived in my house. Or probably you grew up in an environment where you had a lot of boys and girls misbehave, smoke, just do a lot of things, live their lives carelessly, dress in a certain way, speak in a certain way, with no remorse, hurt people, fight on the streets. If you grew up in that kind of environment, there are high chances that that's how you will see life. The only thing that can make it different is if you get yourself exposed to another kind of experience, which is why I always recommend certain kind of books and movies and documentaries. Because when you watch some of these things, they give you a different picture of what is happening out there. They show you other things that are happening out there in the world. And it allows you the chance to want to explore it. You begin to picture yourself doing those things. You begin to picture yourself seeing that, oh, there is life outside of what I've experienced. So there is a different life. And life can be better than what I currently experience, or what I'm currently experiencing, or what I've experienced in the past. So recognizing when you've been living someone else's definition of you is very important. You see, as we continue to evolve and we continue to dare to be who we really are called to be, there are so many challenges you would face. I like to call it see finish. I love to call it see finish. So when you begin to dare to get into who God has called you to be, right? You see a lot of people are like, is it not that patience? Is it not that patience? Our patience that she grew up is in this new nyanya, in this ghetto, this new nyanya ghetto. I know her, and I know her mom, I know her father. Her mom died some years ago. Those girls, come on, is it not that patience? I know her. And sometimes when people say these things, they say it because they want you to remain that person that they know. And if you are not careful, because they knew you and they are telling you, they are saying it to your face, who do you think you are? Is it not you that we know? Just like when they spoke of Jesus, is it not Jesus, that this Jesus from, can anything good come out of Nazareth? Is it not this Jesus of Nazareth that we know? The son of Mary, the son of the carpenter, is it not him? But you see the kind of transformation Jesus came with and the kind of restoration he brought. So imagine that he had listened to all those naysayers, everybody who said, oh, because you're coming from this, nothing good can come out of Nazareth, everything that they had said. If he had allowed it, we wouldn't have had the salvation and every other thing we enjoy today. So I'd like you to take a moment and complete this statement. I am someone who ... Take a moment and think about it. Why I want us to be open to saying these things to ourselves is because there is something that happens to our subconscious when we openly and verbally confess or say certain things. So whether those things are good or bad, it does something to our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind picks it up. In fact, you'll be amazed that those thoughts are what will linger. You might even think, oh, it's just a joke. That was just a joke I made. But then your subconscious will pick it up. And before you know it, you begin to behave and act in that way. I remember when I started telling myself, over the years, when I started telling myself that, I'm not good with public speaking, I'm not a good talker, I'm shy, I cannot stand before people to speak, I can't do this, I can't do that, my grammar is not good, I'm not able to really speak and express my thoughts fluently for people to understand. I kept telling myself those things. And do you know, at every instance I had the opportunity to speak, I would always get really shy, get frightened, and most of the times fumble. It's either I stand there and fidget or repeat words over and over, sweat. You could just literally see that, oh, this girl is tense, this lady, you know, it kept reoccurring itself until I had to tell myself that, yes, I admit I'm not where I want to be, but I am good at this point and I am willing to learn, which is why the place of telling yourself you are evolving and you are learning is very beautiful. That makes you know that this is not the best version of you, but then this version of you is also not bad. This version of you is also growing. There's room for you to grow. So until I started telling myself that I've not gotten to that point where I want to be, but I am going to get there because I won't stop growing. I won't stop practicing. I won't stop doing these things. Until I started telling myself that if I was still in that other state of myself, the former me, I wouldn't have been having this call with you today. I would have probably looked for somebody else to do it. Or maybe I wouldn't have even gotten to this point of saying, daring to say, oh, let's have this mentorship. This mentorship has to occur, has to take place now. So just take that moment and write out some of these things. Write out some of those statements. I am someone who is valuable. I am someone who deserves to be respected. I am someone who loves people. I am someone who is kind to people. I am someone who people should be kind to. You know, say those things and allow yourself. I am someone who is confident in my abilities. I am someone who is evolving and growing. So just take out a minute, right? And let's have you write that. If you want to drop it in the comments, go ahead and drop it. If you don't feel like dropping it, that's fine. But just take out time, think about it. And if you want to write it down, write it down. And keep saying it to yourself. That is what will make you grow. So the journey of self-awareness. There is no self-identity without self-awareness. And there is no self-confidence without self-awareness and self-identity. So these things work hand in hand. There is no way you talk about confidence without knowing yourself, because it is how much of yourself you know that gives you confidence. So let's use a conversation as an example. If you are asked to do something or to carry out an assignment, to present, also let's say what I'm doing right now, I'm presenting, having this conversation with you, right? How much I can boldly share and speak and express is based on how much I am confident that I know what I'm saying. There is something about confidence I love so much. You cannot lie to yourself. You can lie to every other person, but you cannot lie to yourself. When you are not sure of what you want to say, as it has to do with a particular topic or a conversation, you will lose confidence. Every other person might be thinking, oh, you're doing this, you've got this. But deep within you, you will know that, no. And it will show in how you deliver whatever it is, or in how you express it. So the power of knowing you lies in knowing your values, knowing your strengths, knowing what your purpose is. You know, what are your values? Knowing your values helps you know who to keep around and who to let go of. You see, sometimes we have people in our lives who really don't know our worth, who will never respect who we are, probably because of that see finish I talked about earlier. Probably because, okay, they know you from the house, they know you from childhood, and so they have this see finish kind of idea and perspective about you. And so they get to abuse the opportunities they have with you. They get to neglect your time, you know. So if you don't have these values around your life, everyone can just come in and say whatever they want to say to you or treat you in a certain way and excuse themselves. And what this does to you is it builds something in you. Imagine that you continuously get rejected. So as ladies, right, I know we are grown-up ladies here, so I love to use love relationship for an example. So imagine that growing up, you had about 3 or 4 experiences with guys who probably maybe you liked, right? And then for a start, they liked you, but all of a sudden they turned you down, they rejected you. The first guy did, the second did, the third did. To be sincere, if you're not someone who has understood and known your self-worth, that all of these things don't define you, it will really diminish you. It will reduce you. You will belittle yourself by yourself. You will tell yourself that you are not good enough for anything good. In fact, you're not good enough for a relationship. And so 2 things will happen. Is either you now drop down the standards, right? And just want to get into a relationship with just anybody, right? Or you don't even want to get into a relationship at all because you feel like you're not good enough. So relationships should not come to you. So it's very important that you have values that will guide the kind of people you have around your life. And then know your strengths. So let's say you know that one of your strengths is the ability to express your thoughts to people, share your ideas. I like to call it marketing. You are able to really market yourself or market something to people and they can easily buy into it. That's a strength. Dwell on it. Build things around it. Let that be the first thing you remember when you're thinking about any weakness you have. So let's say you are not prompt with timing, right? But then you have the strength of expressing yourself in a very beautiful way that really gets the attention of other people to listen, to buy into whatever it is you're saying. Don't dwell on the fact that, oh, I'm not time conscious. Don't dwell on the fact that you need to learn to keep to time. Dwell on the fact that I have the strength, though I'm not good with time, but I can get better at it because I'm good with this. And because I'm good with this, it means that there is a chance, I stand a chance to be good with the other thing as well. One other thing that gives you so much strength, gives you so much confidence is knowing what you are called to do, knowing what you are living for, knowing your why, knowing those things that you are passionate about. So once you know the things you are passionate about, you will know the things you are not passionate about. And you will know that those things, let me use the language, you know, follow. You just know that you see this one, you know, follow. You see, we've grown to the point where our world has become so bad, things have become so chaotic that people have lost the real essence of who they are and the things they love. So people are just after anything that brings in money, anything just to survive. Now there is a place for that. But then your struggle to survive should not kill the passion and the dreams you have. It's not going to be so much work on you to try to manage the things you're passionate about, the things you need to do, and then the things that you need to do to bring in money, and the things that you are doing because you are passionate about and they make meaning to you. Because at the end of the day, it is the things that bring meaning to you that bring fulfillment, and not necessarily the things that bring in so much money. So I was having this conversation with a friend who, I think he's currently in France or something, schooling. And so he was advising me to put in an application for a particular scholarship. And I was like, I don't like this scholarship. They are not offering anything I'm interested in. I don't like it. And he was like, I know once you apply, you will get, because you will get it. He was just giving me a lot of reasons why I will get it. And I was like, the courses I saw, I've gone through this. I don't like any of these courses. It's not something I'm interested in. And then someone else in the background said, it's abroad you're talking about, or just pick any course. You know, once you are done studying, you can just delve into anything. And immediately I was like, what? People have different ideas about life, but check such a person. Give it time. In fact, you will get frustrated in the course of that study because you don't even like it. For some of us who were given courses in the university, courses that you did not apply for, courses that you knew you did not like, you did not apply for, and then you were given those courses, I want to believe that you struggled for a while before you picked in. That's for those who eventually picked. There are some people who just even reject and not start it at all. And then imagine that at a higher degree level, I'm not going for a course just because, I want to travel and leave Nigeria to go and study abroad, so I can just pick any course because it's abroad. And then I just study it and I can just find a way and fix myself somewhere. It's not supposed to be that way. It's not supposed to be that way at all. So in this case, I just laughed about it and I was like, okay, I've heard you, thank you. You know, it's not every advice most times you don't always just counter people. Even if it doesn't align with you, you can just appreciate and say, okay, thank you for letting me know. But you just know that for me, it does not align with me. It does not work with me. I cannot do this. I cannot imagine me going to study a course that I don't have any interest, I don't like, just because I want to travel out of Nigeria. It's not like once you travel out, you no longer have to sit down to read your books and then you just pass it. You still have to read. And imagine reading and trying to study and pass something you do not like, something you're not even seeing a future in. You know, so self-awareness is knowing those things that align with your values, knowing those things that align with you, what can work with you, what can work for you, and what cannot work, and what does not work with you. What are some of the ways that you can discover yourself, discover the things you like, discover your strengths and your values? Journaling. Journaling is one of them. Sitting down to do a lot of reflections. I personally do a lot of reflections, so I can have a conversation with you and then I sit back in my quiet time and I'm just thinking about it. Okay, I had this conversation. This was what I said. This was what I said. Oh, how would I have done it better? So I asked myself some of those questions. So on this call now, I want you to take out a minute and think about who you are. Think about some of the strengths you have. Think about your values. You know, when I say who you are, I feel like it's a bit broad, and most times we struggle because who you are is like a lot. It's a lot of things put together. So let's just break it down to think about your values. What are some of your values? What are some of your strengths? Think about it. What do you think is your purpose? Now, I know this question of purpose also throws most people off balance. They are like, I don't know what it is, right? Myself, it took a very long time. Even up until now, it unfolds every day, right? So I understand if you say, oh, I'm not clear about that. But let's hear you share your values. Like, Let's hear you in the chat. Let's also hear you unmute yourself and speak. Now, while I'm having this conversation, or while we are having this conversation, I'd like us to also feel free to ask questions. Even before we get into the Q&A segment, I'd like us to ask questions. So Joy, if you're still on the call, help us get our feedbacks. Help us get the feedbacks we have in the
Okay,
chat.
ma.
Yes, help us get the feedbacks we have in the chat. So ladies, I want to get to know just list out some of your values. What are those things that for you, this is key? So for me, right, I love people who are sincere. I love people who are sincere. And one of my value is sincerity and integrity. So if I tell you I'm going to do a thing, I will do it. Except anything happens that I'm unable to. And most of the times I feel guilty when I'm unable to. And I have to literally go out there to apologize and all. One other value I know that I hold in esteem is appreciation. So I love to appreciate people. I love it when somebody has gratitude in them, you know, for the very little things, the little things that seem to be insignificant. That's one of my values. You know, so for someone else, it could be as little as being punctual, as little as showing up on time, as little as keeping with time. When I just mentioned this time, I remember an experience I had in school where I schooled in Foots Mina. So I was in Bible study unit, and one of the things we were taught was promptness with time. And so I got so into this timing thing that if you tell me you're going to be having this conversation with me for the next 30 minutes, my mind is prepared that I'm having this conversation for 30 minutes. Once you exceed 30 minutes, you've lost me. At that time, at that point, once you've exceeded 30 minutes, I'm like, what are you still saying? You told me 30 minutes. We are done. 30 minutes is up. I want to leave. I have something else to do in my time. And so I had that experience in school until one of the days we were to have our meetings for just 2 hours. And sadly, our coordinator came up, and I've forgotten what exactly happened, but he decided to allow us have the meeting for more than 2 hours. I think about 3 hours. What? I was boiling, and it was not something you could just excuse yourself and leave. Because leaving meant that you were probably rude, you know. And so that happened about 2-3 times. It was a particular coordinator. Immediately he came on board, he started doing that. And you know, he helped me. He helped me to drop down on being too time conscious. Because some of the times we cannot just help the conversations. Sometimes conversations just exceed the assigned or allocated time, right? Yet it does not mean the rest of the conversation is now meaningless or worthless. So it brought me back to that point where right now, if you tell me you're having a conversation with me, even if it's like 1 hour, the only thing I can just let you know, okay, I have another engagement, but I'll still be in it with you. I will not get so offended and upset, and I want to just excuse myself. Yeah, so let's hear you. Joy, do we have anyone in the comment?
Oh yes, we do.
Okay.
We have from Kehinde. We have from Naomi. Kehinde says that she loves being sincere and she loves to plan ahead. Naomi says that she loves relationships, family, gratitude, authenticity, and peace.
Wow. I love that. I love peace too. I don't like noise. So when there is noise, I excuse myself. So one of the once you get to know these things, right? What they do to you is when you meet somebody or when you get into a room that lacks these things, you know that that place is toxic for you. You know that I don't belong to this place. You know that even if it's for a particular season, you just allow yourself experience that season and then you excuse yourself because you know, I don't belong here. I don't function. I would not function well in this kind of space or with this kind of person. You know, somebody that does not have these values, does not want peace. Imagine living in a house with somebody that does not want peace. Even the Bible said it. Like it's just like living in a roof that is leaking, or even going to stay in the desert, than to just stay in the house that with somebody that is quarrelsome, somebody that does not want peace. So once you get to know yourself, these things about yourself, it helps you decide who and where to go to. So let's look at the place where confidence and identity connect. Like I said, I mentioned earlier, I think in the previous slide, I said that there is no confidence without understanding your identity. And there is no understanding your identity without knowing yourself. That's being self-aware. So until you are clear about yourself, right, you cannot fully say, oh, I have this confidence in doing this. So let's use this example. Until you are clear that you are loved, you are beautiful, you are smart, you are intelligent, when you find yourself in certain places, you would think you are less. So one of our ladies from TCW last year, was it last year? Sometime early this year, there was a scholarship opportunity that came that TCW got. And we had called for some persons to send in applications. We didn't get a good turnover, but then she was consistent. We applied together, put her through the process and all, and then she got the scholarship. And it's in a private school, fully funded. Her tuition is covered, her accommodation is covered. The next 4 years of her being in that school is covered. Her clothing is even covered, you know, and it's a private school, very expensive. So when she was going there, one of the things I told her was, don't see yourself as little. When you go there, literally, the people you will see, in fact, you might even find some students who have cars driving on campus because there are certain kind of people that will be able to afford this school. And those kind of people are people that are very wealthy, coming from very well-to-do homes, you know. Most people who have been given birth to with either silver spoon, golden spoon, and all of those. And there's a way that when you find yourself in this kind of environment, there's a way it makes you feel so little. There's a way it makes you feel like you are not good enough. There's a way it just intimidates you if you don't consciously tell yourself that you are worth it. So I told her, always remember that you applied for this scholarship and you got it. And you got it because you deserve it, because you earned it, because you're qualified for it. And if you're in that classroom with, even if it's a president's daughter, don't ever see yourself any less than she is. The only thing that she has now that I would say you don't have is all of the wealth and influence. But give yourself time. If you stay consistent, you commit to your books, give it time. You don't know what your life will produce. And moreover, she's enjoying all these things from the life of her parents. It's not really her life. It doesn't mean she's going to be that successful at the end of the day. So why am I saying this? I brought this example because sometimes as human beings, we cannot just help it. You get to a place where you see people, every other person is looking so lit. every other person is looking so beautiful, so well dressed, so well spoken. And then you're looking at yourself and like, am I a spoon? like, at those times, if you are not so self-aware that beyond all of these things, all of these physical things, you are worthy of being in that room, you are worthy of being on that table, there's a way it drops your self-worth. There's a way you shrink in. And so it's very important that we identify those moments, those times. In fact, those are the times where you need to even be more deliberate. You need to rehearse it over, tell yourself over and over that I am good enough, that's why I'm here. I deserve this opportunity. I deserve to be in this room. I deserve to speak. I have something to say, something valuable to say, and they have to listen to me. They have something to learn from me. So confidence is a byproduct of clarity, not perfection. Yes, so that you are doing a thing, that I'm doing what I'm doing now is not because I am so perfect at it. And if you want to be true, you know that I am not perfect at what I'm doing right now, but I'm doing it anyways. And it is continuously doing it that will make me grow, that will get me to that point where somebody can be like, oh, she presents so well, you know. At this point, I'm learning how to do it. And I'm making a lot of mistakes. Yes, I embrace it because I know it is a learning curve for me. So that's how we should also embrace the things we fear so much. Those things we've never dared to do before. Some of us, we find it so difficult to express our thoughts, especially when we are in a room with 2 or 3 people. We can easily have a conversation with a person, an individual, right? But then once you begin to see 2, 3, 4 persons, you become shy or afraid. Just do it. Most of the time, that thing you are saying is what will change the other person's life. The other person will get value from what you are saying. But until you say it, they might not know. And sometimes, it is when you say it, the reaction people get or people give when you say it also builds your confidence. So most of the times you are in a room, if you don't speak, nobody really knows what you've got to offer. Nobody knows your strengths. Nobody knows what you can do. And so somebody can even belittle you, look down on you because you're just all quiet. But the time where those times, those situations or those times where you decide to speak up and share a thought or express what you think, you discover somebody's like, oh, okay, so this person has something to say. And then sometimes they can even walk up to you and introduce themselves and want to connect with you. So confidence doesn't come from being the best. It comes from being real. And one other thing that we must always learn to do is breaking free from comparison. Every one of us is fearfully and wonderfully made. So when the Bible says you're fearfully and wonderfully made in the image and after the likeness of God, it means that patience is fearfully and wonderfully made in her own way. Joy is fearfully and wonderfully made in her own way. Yes, still in the image and likeness of God, but in her own way. And patience cannot speak and behave like joy. Joy should not also want to speak and behave like patience. And that's one of the reasons why we were giving birth to at the same day, at different days, in different families. It's because we are all unique in our different ways. So I know as young ladies, most of the times when we see beautiful things happening to other ladies or other individuals around us, we tend to begin to want to compare, oh, this lady is my classmate or she's my age mate and she has this, she has that. You know, she gained admission and all of those. But one thing we must know is even if somebody is giving birth to almost at the same time or even the same day as you, that person is not you. And you should not live your life looking up to that person and deciding to want to be like them, or comparing yourself, asking questions that why is this happening to me and why is this not happening to this person? Why is my life not like this other person's life? We are different and unique in our ways. And external validation is something we must continuously fight every day. Myself speaking to you, I still do this. So something happened a few hours ago, and when I came back, I was just reminded about it. I stepped out a few hours ago to buy Gary. And when I got to the store, I told the lady, thank God you have Gary. I want to buy Gary. I want to go and use it forever. And then I bought some groundnuts and I started eating at that spot. I thought it was just me, and then I made the transfer, left. It wasn't I go home. And that the Holy Spirit just ministered to me that why did you have to tell her that you bought that Gary forever? Why? Did you have to tell her that you bought it forever? Did she ask you? Why did you say it to her? And I was like, it's not a big deal. But that was when I realized that I actually said that because I've never loved drinking Gary. I hate it. Even when I was a student, even when I was in school, I never got to drink Gary. I only drink Gary when I see people drink it. And so that thing, anytime I think of Gary and I want to buy Gary, that thought comes to mind that you want to drink Gary. Is Gary you want to drink? You will not drink Gary. And I think that thing has gotten to me in a way that anytime I want to buy or I'm around where there's Gary, I just want to let somebody know that I don't drink Gary and I'm buying it not to drink. So immediately I was like, hey, Patience, this needs to excuse your life. And so I know that this might not really make sense. It might sound so silly, so nothing, but these very little things count. Looking for validations from people in little ways, in different ways, can affect our confidence. And so when we don't get that validation from them, we feel belittled. So what are some of the internal barriers that we need to overcome as it has to do with confidence? Dealing with self-doubt, dealing with imposter syndrome, dealing with fear of judgment, self-doubt. Self-doubt is one experience that really kills our self-confidence. Now, I want you to know that every one of us has self-doubt at different times in our lives or different seasons in our lives. And most of the time, self-doubt comes to us when we want to dare to do something we've never done before. Maybe you want to go to a place you've never gone to before. You want to carry out an assignment you've never done before. You want to do something you've never done before. There is that place of self-doubt. What if? Who told you can do this well? What if it doesn't turn out well? And most of the times we have to, in any ways, do it. And one of the ways we can kill self-doubt is when those thoughts begin to come to you. What if it doesn't work? What if they say this? What if all of those? Tell yourself, what if not? So if it is all the what ifs that is affecting you, decide to change it. Tell yourself, what if not? So what if I now succeed? So what if I do it and then I get the result that I desire? So once you begin to say that, it changes how you see it. It reduces the fear and you dare to try it. Because at the end of the day, there are two things that will happen. So let's say you need help from someone or you want to reach out for something. There are two things that will happen. It's either the person says yes or no. So in any case, you must receive one of them. So it's safer for you to go ahead and say it. Go ahead and make your request known. Other than say, oh, what if the person says no? What if they say yes? If they say yes, it means you got it. And if they say no, fine. Sometimes no breaks us, but you get up and continue again. So imposter syndrome, this telling yourself that you are not good at this thing, you cannot get this thing done right, all of those thoughts. And they happen as a result of the different experiences, maybe the many failures we've experienced in the past, maybe from different words that were spoken to us while we were growing up, people telling us we are not good enough, teachers telling us a lot of things. I remember when I was a very little girl, I think I was in primary 2 or so, I can't remember, I think it's primary 2. And my teacher said to me that I play like a cat. I came back home crying. I cried so much. And then I was with my grandma, and my grandma was like, why are you crying? But he actually said the truth, you play like a cat. And somehow, that thing affected me for a very long time. So anytime I want to do anything, I just remember that thing. Up until now, I still remember, oh, Patience, you play like a cat. A cat plays a lot, right? I had to deliberately start telling myself that I don't play like a cat. I play when it's necessary. Before I had to change that particular narrative I had of myself. So sometimes most of these things happen to us, and it changes how we see ourselves. It changes how we see life and different situations in our lives. So it's always very important that we rewrite the childhood experiences or beliefs that we had. So also, like I was saying earlier, when some of these doubts come to you, in the inner part of you, most times these battles we fight, they are just battles of we and ourselves. They are not battles of it's not somebody coming to confront you and saying these things to you. It is just you and your mind having that battle that, oh, this, that, all the back and forth is in your mind. Most times when I think about these battles, I just remember the temptation of Jesus Christ. Well, most times when we hear that the temptation of Jesus Christ, the devil came to him, we think he physically came to him. It was actually in his mind. He did not come physically to look at him and say, change this stone into bread. Change this stone into bread. It didn't physically come that way. It was in his mind. And immediately he rebuked it. So always have the right words to rebuke those negative thoughts when they come to you. So this is an exercise I would have loved for us to do, right? Share a belief that you were told, maybe something that has become like a part of you because you were told in the past and has affected you up until now. Probably maybe you've outgrown it, or you are still in it and you're trying to outgrow it. Most of the times these things happen to us and we don't even know that these are negative things that have been said to us. We just think it's normal. We just think it's normal and that's just how we are. You meet people and they say, oh, that's just how I am. That's what it is. Right from when I was growing up, I just experienced it that way. But the reality is, that's not how it is. That's not who you are. That's not how it should be. You took it in because you heard it for way too long growing up. And it just became a part of your life. So there are so many lies that we've been told, and we need to let go of. We need to rewrite those lies. So let me ask now, do we have somebody who wants to share about some of those lies? Do we have someone who wants to share? Do we have anyone who wants to share? Who is on the call that can hear me? Let me be sure that I am on this call and you can hear me. Do we have someone who wants to share? Is there a particular thing growing up they continuously said to you? Maybe your siblings, or maybe your parents, or even your teachers in school, they told you, and then you grew up accepting it. And now you're realizing that it's affecting you in a negative way. Can anyone share? I know there are a lot of those kind of experiences. Who wants to share? Hello?
Okay, guys, you can hear her loud and clear.
Yeah.
Can you respond? Yes, we can hear you, ma. You can make use of the chat box in case you want to type it.
Okay, so is anybody going to share? I would have preferred I hear your voices, you know. But no, we stand, you can just share in the chat. So has there been any kind of lie, right? I like to call it a lie because it is not true. It is not who you are. Or let me just make it raw. Has there been any kind of negative expressions that were made towards you, probably over and over again, and then you absorbed it, you took it in, and at this point in your life, you feel like this is not me. This has affected me in a way, and I want to change it. This is not true about me.
Good evening. Can I share?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. I don't know, to some people it might not be a challenge, but to me, I think that was a challenge for me growing up. I used to be very slender, and then my mom will always, anytime my auntie come around, and then she gives me any of her gown, and then I put it on, my mom will quickly get it out of me like, you're too slim to be wearing gown. Why are you wearing gown? You don't have any shape. You're too slim. To her, it might be her protecting me from putting on gown, but to me, it turned out to be something that affected me most of the years growing up. Even up till now, if I'm going for an event and I want to be my best, I don't wear gown. It just gives me this off vibe, like I'm not my best. My gown is now my casual. I don't do gown if I want to be official, confident, laudable, beautiful. I don't do gowns, like fitted straight gown, because of that. Because every time I put on gown, my mom will keep telling it to me. So I don't know what her reasons were. And funny enough, I've never had this conversation with anyone, neither with her. But I think it's an avenue for me to share it out and probably let go completely and entirely. Every time I put on gown now, fitted gown, if I know I'm going for an event where I want to be my best, I don't do it. So I believe that there are a lot of people that might be going through one thing or the other because of someone else's spoken words to them. I've been fighting it and I've been trying my best to avoid it, but I decided to share it here, so I will let it go completely. I believe whatever anybody has said to any of us, we can actually talk ourselves out of it and feel confident in ourselves. Or you choose another path. If you know that this part has gotten to you that you can't do it, you can leave it entirely. Anything that don't make you can break you. So since you know that this is going to break you, leave it and choose what will make you. I feel that's my own contribution, what I want to say to the house. Thank you.
Whoa, Glory! Can I see your reactions? Who has been blessed in just less than 2 minutes that she spoke? Because what she was saying, I was like, oh my God. Thank you so much for sharing, for being this vulnerable and for sharing this. And you see, I don't even know where to comment because I'm just trying to, at least I know the person that spoke. I know a person, and I'm like, what are you telling me? Young lady, if you wear gown now, you look really good in it. You look really good in gowns, right? But here's the thing. For our parents, most of the things they did, right, is for our good, just like you said. I believe that when she was saying all of that, she just felt, I don't want you to go out there to maybe people, I don't want you to go to dress this way, wear this gown and go out there and then get people laugh at you because you look slim and all of that. Have you seen slim ladies wear good outfits and then they bounce in it and they are celebrated for it? It starts with you accepting your physique. So now at this point in your life, you've grown beyond that. Oh, you are so slender, you are so slim, you are so all of this. You're not so slim, you are sweet, you are good like this. In fact, you know how many people want to be slim? You know how many people want to get married and then have babies and still look like you? Do you see we celebrating what's her name now? Kitension, for being the way that she is? You know how many people will sell, like, give all of their wear to be like that? So I'm giving these examples because I want you to come out of it. I want you to see it as a blessing. Yes, her words must have stuck for so many years. And the fact that you've acknowledged it now, that it has been something that has affected you, it means that you know that there's a challenge there. And once you know that there's a challenge, that challenge is halfway solved because you know there's this challenge. The next thing is now, what's the solution? But if you don't even know that there is something that all of those things she said did to you, if you had not even acknowledged it, then it means you would have not been able to come out of it. But now that you've acknowledged it, I think you can begin to tell yourself something else. Begin to tell yourself something else. Personally, I'm not a skirt person. Not because anybody told me a skirt doesn't look good on me. I don't just like it. I feel like I beg it, so I don't like it. Not for any reason. Nobody told me, but I just feel like I don't like skirts. I prefer just wear trousers. I'll just wear a gown. Amazingly, gown now that you don't like. I love it because I feel like once I wear it, it's just good to go. I'm only thinking of shoes and probably maybe a handbag or a hair tie or something on my head. But most times when I'm thinking about a top, I'm thinking about a trouser. I'm thinking about a trouser. I'm thinking about a top to go out. You know, so what I would recommend is, you mentioned something about, okay, if it doesn't work for you, if you feel like you cannot work with it, let go of it completely. Yes, that's another option we can take. You feel like, oh, this, let go of it. But then to heal completely from this, you have to reframe it. You have to reframe it. Now, one way you can do that is look at yourself now. Try to picture yourself in your head like 10 years ago. What did you look like when she was saying all those things to you? Are you still looking like that now? And then if no is your response, then tell yourself, you've passed through that stage, you've grown through that stage. And allow yourself wear gowns, good gowns. Because the person I know I've seen you in gowns and you look good in it. I'm not telling you just because, oh, you're on this call, I want to make you feel good, or you're my friend and all of that. You've worn gowns and you look good in it. So it just begins with you telling yourself that you are no longer that person. You have evolved, you've grown, and your size is a blessing. A lot of people are looking for it. So I think I'll pause here and then allow someone else to share. If someone else wants to share, do you have somebody still want to share? Anything that you were told in the past that's really affected you up until now? Okay, so this is still the conversation around the question we asked. Owning your flaws, your strengths, and your story without shame. The freedom that comes with being authentic. Okay, so let me tell you guys something quickly. Growing up, I think I lost my dad when I was very young. I spent many years with my grandma. And then along the line, I think I was in JS3. And then I lost my grandma too. And I had to come back to live with my mom and my other siblings. And so while I was growing up, around SS3, I lost my mom again. So I was just left with my siblings. That was just after writing WAEC. I'm not sure if did she see my WAEC? I'm not even sure if she saw it. And she was the one who went to register, went to the Rigo and everything. But we lost her. And it was a very traumatic experience. Just try to imagine if you've lost any of your parents, just try to imagine what it feels like. And then imagine somebody that young. How do you navigate your way? How will you even get to school and all of those things? So I took in JAM. When I resumed school, I never got to speak about this experience with anybody. And one of the reasons why I didn't get to speak, I was like, even if I say it to anybody, would they bring my parents back? I was never proud of it. So many times when I had people had conversation, oh, my mom did this, my dad did this, I used to feel it. Like I'll sit quiet, but then instead of me, I'm like, how I wish. So I kept it to myself up until, in fact, when I got to school, I had some friends that were very close to me. Somehow we never had conversations like that until I think when I almost graduated, when I was about graduating, I think I was 400 or 500 level. That's when one of my friends now discovered, because when he visited here, Abuja, it was like, oh, let me come to your house and all. It was like, where are your parents? And that was when I was like, my parents are late. That was when I was like, are you for real? Like, and we never got to know. I didn't know that. It was recently I discovered that my not saying it to people was not because I literally felt, oh, they could not bring my parents back or they would not do. It was because I was not proud of it. I know it's not something to be proud of, right? But then I was kind of ashamed about it. It was recently, I think like a few months ago, a lady reached out to me on LinkedIn and said she wanted to publish a story of me on her blog and all. Do you know when we had that interview, I spoke to her, shared a lot of things with her, growth experience, different curves and all of that. Do you know when she had written it and published the article? The first time I read it, the first few lines, 2 or 3 lines, or let's say first 3 paragraphs, I was almost reaching out to her to tell her to pull it down. I was like, I'm not ready to share all of this with the world right now. I'm not ready to share all of this with the world right now. And after that blog publication, a lot of people reached out to me. Wow, Patience, you went through all of this thing. You're so strong. You're this, you're that. And a lot of people were inspired. Some people reached out and were like, now I understand why the first time I met you, I connected so well. I did this, I did all of that. And that was when I realized that what kept me from sharing some of those things was not necessarily because I felt there was no conversation that came up around that area. It was because I was ashamed of my story. Or will I say I have been ashamed of my story. I was not proud to share that, okay, these are some of the things I went through. This is how I grew to become the person that I am today. You know, so sometimes we have some stories that we feel are so ugly, we don't want to share. And until we get to that point where we embrace the story, people will not see the blessings that come out of it. We'll never even know the lives that it will bless. So I didn't even get to know that a lot of people will be blessed. A lot of people will feel like, oh, Patience, this, that. From my sharing that, up until I accepted and I allowed her share the story, published it on the blog and all of that. That was when I had to kill that fight. And now I can freely share it with anybody who cares, who wants to know, and not feel anything. So now, if somebody comes and say, oh, you grew up in the slums, you grew up in this, you did that, I'll be like, yes, that's who I am. And it has formed the woman that I am today. And if you see anything worth celebrating about me today, it is because of those things I experienced. Maybe I wouldn't have been this me today if I had it the other way around. So most times our stories, the things we go through in life are the things that shape the person that we evolve and become. So we need to learn to accept our stories and be able to express it. That's where true confidence also comes in. I want us to know this, that the day you stop shrinking in to fit, you start becoming unstoppable. So when you want to just be part of the room, you just want to be part of the conversation, even if the values don't align with yours, you just want to be part of the room. The day you stop being that way, the day you say, oh, this room does not belong to me. Yeah, they are good to go, but because of this, that, I don't align, I can't work with them. You excuse yourself. You are, you become unstoppable. So what are some of the daily confidence habits you can do? Confidence is a discipline. It's not a mood. Like I said earlier, it is not people who are confidently doing whatever you see them do, and you think they are confidently doing it. They dare to do it. It's not because they are so sure and so confident and they find it exciting to do. They have to come out of their comfort zone to do those things. So you have to be disciplined if you want to express confidence and be real, the real you. How to speak, dress, and act from self-assurance. Yeah, so I think we've already highlighted some of this, and then the examples we also gave really speaks of all these points we have written here. The role of gratitude, affirmations, and consistency. So if you know me very well, I'm so keen on gratitude and affirmations. There is just something about it. The more you keep telling yourself beautiful things about yourself, the more you become beautiful, the more things around you become beautiful. You know, even if literally you're seeing red, you're seeing danger, you tell yourself that there is growth, you tell yourself that there is increase, it becomes that way. And also celebrating small wins. What are some of the little things? So let's say you woke up today and you set a target of being able to read a chapter of a book, being able to call 3 or 4, checking up on 3 or 4 friends, being able to what are some of those things now? I think I'm losing track of them. So whatever it is, those little things that seem to be insignificant, right? You're able to achieve them. Or maybe you told yourself that, oh, today I don't want to get so engaged on WhatsApp. I want to just function on WhatsApp for 1 or 2 hours a day. I want to commit this time to read my books, or I want to do this, I want to do that. And you're able to achieve it. Celebrate it. When you celebrate it, it gives you the assurance that if you could do this little, you can also do more. So what are some of the confidence challenges that you can do? Share one small, brave action you will take this week moving forward. We still have 3 days or 4 days now before the week runs out. What is that thing you think you're going to do that will build your confidence? What are those things? Could it be self-affirmations? Do you want to affirm yourself? Do you want to speak to yourself about who you are? Do you want to reassure yourself of the possibilities that are available for you and in you? Do those things and you see yourself grow. You see yourself really evolve. So lastly, we'll be looking at leading from identity, showing up authentically in leadership, relationship, and work. Now, this word authentic, I want us to put a balance to it, because most times when we talk about being authentic, people just don't want to change. People just don't want to grow and evolve. They just tell you, oh, this is how I am. I'm just being authentic. I'm being real. So in being authentic, authentic means being yourself, right? Expressing your thoughts as you, not trying to copy the other person, right? But then in being authentic, we also have to be careful to allow growth to happen. So if you have, let's say, anger issues, or if you have issues with speaking or pronouncing words correctly or expressing yourself, you should not leave yourself in that state and tell yourself that, oh, this is how I am, I'm being authentic, this is who I am, and not give room for improvement. Give room for change, give room for improvement, even while you're being authentic. Once you get to see those loopholes, you get to see those weak areas that you need to work on, please work on them. Work on them, and you discover that you become a better person every day. So I want you to know that confidence in your identity influences influence. So when I wrote this out, I was like, what is this? How confidence in identity influences influence. So what this means is, if you're confident in who you are, what your abilities are, it influences you to influence others, right? It helps you influence others. It's just like, let me use myself as an example now. Because I'm confident at certain things, certain areas of my life, right? It makes me influence other people to believe that they can do it. Most of the people that are around me that are my friends and some that are like my mentees, they know. If you're around me, there are certain things I push you to do because I'm doing them too. So I push you, do this, do this. And so it influences influence. So in your being confident, in your being you, in your daring to face your fears, you help other people also dare to face theirs. You encourage other people to dare to face theirs. So one thing I want you to know is that once you know who you are, no one else's opinion can dim you. So whatever they are saying, that is who they think they are. That's who they think you are. It doesn't mean that's really who you are. Who you are is by God's standards and who you've embraced and accepted to be, right? So, yeah, this is that time. I think we already had some time to ask questions, but I will still allow, if there is anyone with a question, to ask before we wrap up. Is it Grace or Joy now that is supposed to take over?
Any of your children, ma. Come on, guys. Gentlemen, can we celebrate our mentor? Come on, can we celebrate her? Thank you so much, ma. Thank you so much, ma. We sincerely appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing with us from your words of wisdom, from your experiences. I mean, those hard things that were difficult to talk about at some point. Trust me, as we all had very different situation or different experience. It may not be as tough as the next person close to you, but then again, we all had our experiences in different ways. And somehow, even some positive things that are supposed to look positive may have a way of even creating certain mindsets in us that are not even, at the long run, may not even look positive again. And it now affects some things, it now affects some realities, or maybe the output from an action, the output from a task have a way of just shifting our mind towards thinking something's wrong. So listening to every of the conversation tonight is a good way to start, knowing that you are much more better than those things. You are much more better than those things that people talk about, that people say about you. And I love the part that you did mention something about you not staying that way. Like, if you realize this is who you are currently, or this is what you're not getting right currently, don't stay that way. I think for me tonight, that is it for me. I don't know what it is that really hit you really hard tonight. You can drop it on the chat box or on the WhatsApp group chat. Let us learn from what you are able to gain from tonight's session. So if you have a question, this is a time to ask. We want to ensure that we don't take much more of your time any longer. If you have any question, quickly raise your hand so that we can give you the permission to go on and ask a question. But looking at the question box, people really did not take their time to drop question. I think aside just one person that was talking about currently feeling overwhelmed because of certain passing through. And I think what the person needs is more of an encouragement in any way at all. So this is we to you saying that you are not alone. You are not alone, right? Forget the fact that you see people come outside looking all beautiful, all handsome, all guarded, and somehow you feel they have it all figured out until you have the opportunity of conversing with them and you're like, what? So you are going through all of this and you see smile? You're going through all of this and you feel like there were many times while I was in school, I'm crying and I'm telling somebody it's okay. And I wish the person can literally see me physically and know that I was actually crying at that moment. I mean, I didn't have what to eat, and I'm thinking, and maybe the last kobo in my hand, I'm now seeing somebody that need it more than me. I'm like, what? So we all had our passing through, and one thing you can just hold on to is God. That is just the surest of it all, that we know that He cares about you. So if you are a big fan of the Word of God, the Scripture, this is me encouraging you that part of the Bible that says that all things worketh together for the good of those that love God is a sure thing. Like, it is a sure thing. It may not look like it, but it will eventually turn out to be good for you. All right. If I want to start talking about my life story, man, it's going to be a long one. We've all had our passing through, and currently it's not like I've had it all tick and all figured out yet. But if I look at where I am, I can literally see progress. That's one thing that you should just measure sometimes. So you knowing that you need to do something and starting to doing it, or you knowing that some things were not working before, but now gradually maybe 10% of it is working, 20% of it is working, 30% of it is working. That is progress already. And then over time and over time and over time, you keep getting better. One other thing that can help you is guide yourself around with people who are passionate enough. Yes, because sometimes people can tell us what they are passing through, and because we have not experienced that thing before, we just feel like no be this small thing. You just casualize it, and somehow you can start feeling otherwise. What you need is encouragement. So if you are privileged to be around people who are that passionate and compassionate enough, I mean, this opportunity for you. Have those people around you that can continually encourage you to be yourself, regardless of what you are passing through. To just quickly share, in this same Abuja, I have had struggles with accommodation. I've had struggles. I've lost job. I had to stay 6 years before getting admission into higher institution. I've had a whole lot of struggles as a person. And this is me. I've gone to the same school that I had struggled for 6 years to go to. I've gone to school, I studied mathematics, I'm a graduate of mathematics, and I'm a data analyst, and I'm doing something that I can do at the moment while I see hope for the better future that I'm looking at. So from me to you, I am encouraging you that you are not alone. You are not alone. My patient, I don't know if you have a word for that person this evening.
Okay, so when you started sharing, I had to laugh because sometimes when you see people show up to do certain things, you think they have it all figured out. That's why they are doing that. They all have it rosy. There are days I cry. I think today was not one of those days, but most of the times, there are nights I cry, there are days I cry, like I'm not doing it again, I'm tired, I can't do this, I'm not seeing how this will happen. I cannot tell you how many times it got to the point where I was like, this conference was not going to hold. I cannot tell you, even up until the night of the conference. In fact, even on the day of the conference, those who had the opportunity to speak with me saw that I cried on the day of the conference. But you see that I still had to show up anyways. So why am I saying this? I'm not saying this so that you now feel like, oh, because of I'm trying to belittle whatever it is you're going through. I don't know what it is exactly that is overwhelming you. But whatever it is, I want you to know you are not alone. You have a community. And just like Grace said, at these times, what you need is somebody to just be there for you, somebody to encourage you, somebody to speak with you, somebody to motivate you and inspire you, to give you meaning again. Because there are times where those situations, you don't even want to hear God. You'll be like, where did God dey? Where allow me to go through these kinds? I don't even want to think that there is God. I've gotten to those points in my life where I'm like, I beg, don't call God close to me. Please, I don't even think about God. I just want to have a conversation with somebody that will say something different from God, because I feel like if there is God, He should not be letting these things happen to me. But at the end of the day, everything works together for our good. It's just in that season where it's really overwhelming that you feel like you want to drop God aside. You can never drop Him. You can never be without. It's just like we know it's the air we breathe, right? You cannot just do without Him. So at the end of the day, get a community, and you have that community here in TCW. So if you feel led, you still want to share whatever it is, you can just freely send me a message in my DM, or if you feel maybe you want to have a conversation with any other person among the mentorship team, or even any of the mentors, you feel like you were led to have a conversation with any of the mentors, feel free to reach out and we connect you with the mentors, and you just have that network, right? Because we are here to support each other and to grow together. None of us has it all figured out or has it all rosy and goldy and glitters, right? Every one of us is battling something. We just keep, it's just like we're climbing the wall and we're just trying to climb gradually as we can carry ourselves. So I think from my end, this is what I would I have to say, and this is what I would recommend.
Wow, thank you so much, Ma. Do any other person want to say something? Maybe send your hugs, send your sweet words to that very person at the moment. She needs us so. Like our mentor did said, if you are convinced enough and you feel you can confide in any of us, please slide into our DM and talk about it. We are here together. We want to grow together. We want to become better versions of ourselves together. I want to be doing certain things tomorrow, and I know when I need somebody in higher place in this also sector, I know who to call, because yes, I can literally trace that how this person, it's been a long time and this person has been intentional about growth. This person has been intentional about this, about that. Like, I literally can look at you and I'm grateful for how far you've come. That's the kind of story we are looking at having, all right? And then our conversation is not limited to whenever we are having a live session like this. Just like what happened this afternoon slash evening on the team what's it called, group chat. So anytime at all that you have a concern or question, you either use the question box. I will always be checking to see if you have anybody have dropped question. At the same time, you can drop it on the group. Let's talk about it. That thing that look confusing, that sound confusing. At the moment, a lot of theologies are just there, a lot of perspective are just out there. And if you find anything confusing, just drop it. Let's all share light on it. And I'm sure that we will understand better. We can learn from each other and become better versions of ourselves. All right. So that will not keep all of us waiting. Keep all of us waiting anymore. I think that is basically it from our end. Naomi is sending in some hug. Thank you so much, Naomi. Naomi is saying that just know that you are never alone. You are never alone. And sincerely, that is the truth of the matter. You are never alone. All right. You are never alone. You are never alone. But do you have any what's it called, wrapping words for us, or a close work, or you have any some sort of task or reflection or anything at all that you would want us to do
Okay, so I think our next
before
session
now
is
to the
next
next
week.
session?
Our next session should be next week, Tuesday, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So from now till next week, Tuesday is like, I think 7 days or 6 days in between. I think I would love for us to do this because I'm personally doing it. So if you want me to hold your hand, please send me a message, or I would send a message in the general group. Wake up every morning. As you wake up every morning, give yourself 5 compliments. Say 5 things that must happen to your day on that day that will make your day good. Let's try it for the next 1 week and see what the outcome of our day would be. Do you get that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We get that.
Yes.
So we wake up every morning and we say 5 good
Yes, at
compliments.
least 5. You can do more. You can take out more time, maybe 5, 15, 20 minutes. But even if you don't take out much time, let's have at least like 5 things that you say to yourself, confessions, like let's say confessions now that you say to yourself, beautiful things you say to yourself, how you want to see your day productive, how you want to stay in health, how you want to increase in finances, the different blessings you want to see for that day. Just continuously, let's have that for the next 1 week before the next session, and let's see what our day will be.
All right, ma. Thank you so much. Duly noted. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, because we had like a guy or two joined us earlier. Imagine a guy is here ready to learn all of this that is meant for ladies. It shows how intentional they are also about the girl child, and we sincerely appreciate their presence. Thank you so much, Komolafe. Komolafe was here earlier. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Thank you. We really, really do appreciate your presence here. All right, we that you were able to stay to the end, we appreciate your presence. Thank you for your patience. This is a show that you are ready to grow. This is a show that you're ready to become better. This is a show that, this is a proof. This is a proof that you're already doing something right. And trust me, with time, it's going to yield fruits, and it's going to yield good fruit. So we are wishing you all the best in all your life endeavor. Always try to reach out. Trust me, this is a real mentorship session. Anytime at all you want accountability partner on anything, you can always reach out to any of the leaders, and we'll be here to either help or we connect you to someone that can be of help to you in any way. Thank you so much for your time. Ensure you take the attendance. Ensure you take your attendance. It is very important. It's part of what we'll be using to monitor the progress. So ensure you take the attendance. Thank you so much, everyone. If you still have more questions, drop it either on the question box or drop it on the group chat, and we'll be there to respond to it. Thank you so much, my patience. Thank you, everyone. I think it's a good time to call it a night.
Yeah, I think it's a good time, exactly 2 hours. I think we started 7:45, right? So we are exactly 2. So thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful and peaceful night's rest. Someone is asking how they can take the attendance. I think the link is shared in the chat. Let me highlight the link. I think I saw it. This is the link. I'm sharing the link again. I think it's Faith. Faith asked how she can take attendance, right? Just stay on and take your attendance. This is the link. I just shared it again. Have you seen it now? Who said I can't see it? Let's see. Rema, have you seen it? I just shared the link now in the chat. Just click on the link and you take attendance. Oh, beautiful. You're welcome. Sorry about your phone. Let me share the link with you again.